Alright, so here's the update on the diagram here. So this is the diagram about.
Did you say an update on the Pythagorean theorem?
Update on the Pythagorean theorem. No, I said
But it's
update on the
three
diagram.
sides. I mean, come on.
Maybe it's update on the Pythagorean theorem. I haven't tested that one yet.
Wait, what happened to my phone charger though?
You had your. I don't know.
I plugged it in there.
So basically, this is the enactive model of continuous cognition, showing that the consciousness, modeling consciousness through time. That's the past. This is the present, future, going forward. And there's.
Mind if I use your?
Three components. No, go ahead. And so the three components are the brain, which does all the prediction, the body does sensing and acting, the consciousness, which modulates the flow of information in the system to produce different states. And so the human can be represented in these two different forms. One as the body that's moving through time, and two as actually life, when there's a waveform of probability distributions where the human really kind of is existing as a probability distribution through time all at once. So there's in the future, there's different possible outcomes that could occur. In the past, there's crystallizations of what did occur. And then also in the present, you couple and coordinate with other humans. And so when you have one current state of potentialities cross with another, you get a interference pattern, and that's going to be what coupling and interaction is. And we can now model human interaction dynamics in a similar way that we could model matter and energy and the conservation of energy.
Mr. Rogers shit.
So now we can look at light as it's analogous to a human, and we have both a particle version and a wave function, right? And so now when we think of squaring light, like in Einstein's equation, the squaring procedure, which is a probability distribution of the vector of each particle and its vector length. So in typical physics, this squaring procedure is you square it with itself in order to determine the probability, but here we would square it with the substance that it's interacting with to get the interaction dynamics, right? The interaction dynamics, that coordination coupling happening between these two pieces of matter, tuning to create a certain particular pattern that we're observing out in the world. And when you start to take this type of energy into account, you consider that there's a mental energy and a physical energy. And that physical energy, yes, and that the thing in the middle is what Einstein said is always conserved. But on either side, you can have huge fluctuations, but it always cancels out to zero in the end. So that means you can invest in mental energy and create culture, create art and science and theories and policies that then structure the physical world and reduce the amount of work it takes to get the same stuff done. So we harmonize, our nature harmonizes, and we're able to produce, and the human culture grows and evolves. So this is like the theory of evolution mixed with Einstein's theory of quantum mechanics, because it's considering how mental energy gets invested over time in order to build things like art, science, theories, policy, culture, and how that propels things forward. So yes, the energy in the middle stayed constant, but it was transformed through mental effort, concentration, and physical stuff, the physical matter that we see in reality. So it comes together in a way that's very similar to how an individual human functions. So we plotted them on the same line to show their similarity and to show the same features between like a light and human. So this is meant to be a universal theory that would then predict the likelihood of a photon traveling through a pane of glass. So whether or not where you were on this cycle would determine whether or not you would pass through that glass. So instead of just canceling and squaring the wave function to get an approximate probability up to about 10 decimal places like Feynman does, we would theoretically know the equation that would produce all those perturbations, all these slight nuances here. So we'd be able to accurately get the equation and all the specificities of the decimal places to infinity decimal places. So theoretically we could be as accurate as we wanted with this new approach. It's infinite depth, theoretically you go infinite amount of accuracy to go infinite amount deeper, but we could get it if we wanted it. Instead of 10 decimal places like Feynman has, or 12 or 15 or 20 or 50, we could get 100 billion. And that's a different degree of accuracy that would allow a different type of physical manipulation in the world. So this is one model, the enacted model of continuous cognition, and we're now talking about its application to the domain of physics and trying to explore its links as I build out this diagram. I'm almost finished, another hour or two until I get done.